How to use the Content Aware Fill feature in Photoshop. Select the lasso tool. You can find that in the toolbar. Once you've actually got that, just go over to the lamppost. I'm just going to remove that. Just go around the lamppost reasonably roughly, so you can just, now you could probably go zoom in a bit and actually make it slightly better than that. Right, once you've actually done that, just go to the edit and then fill and select the Content Aware. Click OK. Now, does quite a passable job actually. Ruins the wall a bit, ruins the wall at the top a bit, and okay, so it does actually require a little bit more work. Now, I found the best way, if you're willing to take a few minutes to do it, is to actually do it slightly separately. So just go to each of those areas and just go around there, and then do the same, edit, fill and Content Aware. Click OK. Makes a bit of a smudge there. There's only a very slight smudge, but maybe if I'd actually made the selection a bit better, it might have been slightly better. Deselect, you can see that. Then go there, and again, that's another region you can see just at that top bit. You've got that black dividing, and again, edit and fill. Click OK. And again, you can see that fairly, it's got a slight dip, but it's only very subtle. And then go down. Now, you could, of course, divide at the pavement bit as well. So you could, but seems to be okay. So I'm just going to go with edit and fill. Click OK. And right, you can see now you've actually removed all of that top bit. Now I want to remove the bottom part of the actual lamppost. So I'm just going to, there, just around that, and there. And now edit and fill. Click OK. Right, so you can see it actually has made a reasonably passable job. Once you actually do it in parts instead of doing it in obviously all in one go, it takes about 5 or 6, and you can still work a bit more on that little bit that's got a sort of blurriness there. But what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to show you also another feature that's in Photoshop, and that's, as I've zoomed in correctly, just going to again select the area, use any of the selection tools to select it. Right, once it's selected, go to the edit and Content Aware Fill. Now it's got a more interesting panel. So you've got a preview, which is really good. You can zoom in on the preview, and now you can actually see it's made quite a passable job of it. Again, you've still got that slight imperfection there because of the way it samples the area. Now, you could remove that side bit. I'm just using the sample brush. I'm actually using the negative, so I'm just removing the sampling. So it's not sampling from that area now, and it makes a reasonably passable. Again, it's got a slight shadow in there, so it's not perfect. So if I go over the other side, then it makes a hash of it, because what happens is it samples from the other side and obviously hasn't got that information, so it then ends up making a real hash of the wall. So what I'm going to use instead, I'm just going to use a selection. Again, I'm going to use subtract, so I'm just going to subtract from that selection. So I'm just going to make it a bit cleaner, and you can see it right there. Just go, so I just have only a little bit of that, so it really knows it. But it's still sampling from the wall. But it's got a lot more to work with then. So I'm just going to go around, again, sample that bit. Whoops, don't want that. Right, so now what you can do, you can see the wall is absolutely near perfect there. So you can just see it's got no real imperfections. So you don't even have to change the sampling at this point. Now you can see there's a slight bit of problem up there. And again, you can actually use the selection, just go around and just make certain you haven't got that black bit, because that's the bit that's causing the problem. It's bringing that black bit into the calculation. And you can see it's slightly there still, but it's not too bad now. And you can zoom in, and you could probably tweak it a bit more, again using the selection tool. Just maybe do a chunk out that bit there, because that's where it's causing that imperfection. And now I've got that slight distortion over there on the other side. So it does take a little bit of work, but within this actual panel, it's really quite easy just to keep changing that. There it is. You've got a really, really nice. The only real imperfection now is probably the wall, but you can fix that outside. You don't have to do it within that. Now, output to the current layer. You can output to a new layer. You can also duplicate the layer. I prefer just the current layer, perfectly reasonable. And you can see you've got options here for opacity, for changing the sampling area, change the colour of it as well. And there's also other settings. Now, if I change the colour adaptation, actually that makes it just going to not so good. So I'm just going to keep it with the defaults there. And you can also use scale. Again, subtle changes on that. Again, you can experiment. You can just quickly try, see if it works better. And again, you've still got that smudge. But I'm going to fix that slight outside, so I'm not going to worry about that at this point. And I could, of course, use sampling as well, maybe to try and improve that. And again, see, I can go down there with a sample brush, and you can remove, add, bring it back in again just by using the plus or minus there, as well as changing the size, obviously, if you want more fine detail. So I think that looks pretty decent. So once you're happy with that, you can click OK and come out of the panel. And I'm just obviously just tweaking just to check. Yeah. I think that looks decent. That wall looks like a wall. Click OK, and there you've got it removed. Now, what you can see, I'm just going to go up a bit, so you can just see that patch. That's not particularly nice, so I'm just going to go and select that area with Selection Tool. I could, of course, apply a filter, so you don't even need to see it anyway. So, a filter and stylize oil paint. Click OK, and you can see the basically it's gone completely then. But I don't want to, obviously that's not, most people won't want to do that. So I'm just going to use the Selection Tool and just go over there, lasso tool, just go that region, and then I'm just going to go to edit and fill and use the content aware, click OK, and that's it. You've actually removed it. Very nice sort of removal, and that's it. The lamppost is gone. Now obviously you could do that with maybe say like the word drugstore cosmetics, you could remove that and maybe add your own, or maybe the image of the woman there in the picture, and so on and so on. Whole range of different things you could do with that picture. Hope you found this of interest. Thank you much.